you, Hagai, for that for that guidance. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our customers and our partners from ISC. I know I have a number of my colleagues also. Welcome all. Just before we start off, I would want Peter and Dumia to pray for us. Peter.
Let's pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, this afternoon we want to thank you. We will appreciate your goodness and your mercies. Thank you for giving us this new day. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to share insights here. As we start this forum, we want to ask of your guidance. We pray that you go ahead of us in all the things that we're going to discuss. Even for the customers' businesses, we pray for them that, Lord, you will continue to help them to grow and even to expand. As we start this meeting, we invite your presence. In Jesus' name, we do pray and give thanks.
Amen. Thank you, Peter. I think we have a very unique session in that we want to be talking to the people who hardware business, the people who are doing retail and wholesale of hardware items. And I think that the discussion today is to ask ourselves, how then how is the bank supporting the people in this kind of businesses? I have two of my colleagues who will be sharing in terms of the head of MSME, Anthony Wangeshi, will be sharing on the support in terms of both the transactional and the payment solutions that the bank is offering for support, and even the financing part of it. Anthony will be coming maybe after Sarah to share the support that we are offering. We have also a very unique presentation coming from our head of asset finance, Joseph, who will be talking to us about how then do we help the people in as a bank, how we support the people in this kind of businesses, and even generally all our customers in terms of increasing and even improving on their fleet of assets, not only limited to motor vehicles, but you have machinery and equipment. I think those are things that perhaps we'll be discussing, because some of us, some of the businesses here perhaps will be requiring some improvement, some may have improved in terms of business, and the team, Diongo and team, will also be telling us now how have we partnered with motor vehicle dealers to just help address that challenge for the business people. Then we have a very good presentation also coming through from Sarah Benji. I don't need to introduce her much because most of you know her, but maybe she introduce herself as she talks in terms of what has she picked out there, because she has international exposure. She has been running these kind of forums, and the situation we are in is basically affecting us worldwide as a whole, the whole world. What has she picked out there in terms of the business science that we are talking of? Those are the key things that she also be sharing with us. She has also been working with us, Janef, I think for the last 9 or so. This should be the 9th forum that we are running. She has been working with us, Janef, and she'll also be sharing what has she picked from the nine other forums that we've been running in terms of support for the customers. But of key importance is what intentions then would the bank come up with and to support you. My request to my customers is give us feedback through the chat box as Agai raised. Give us raise any questions there. Let's keep it interactive in terms of, we would also want to understand what you are doing. I know as we started the journey on COVID, early March 2020 this year, which is now almost 3-4 months ago, I think we reached out to you through your relationship managers, through your branch managers. We took an initiative to visit just to understand what the impact of COVID. We have walked the journey together, and I know we have co-created solutions for most of you on the call. But we would want to understand how can we support you more, because when we started this journey, none of us expected that COVID will be with us for this long. I think it looked as if it's a short-term thing, then we get back to our normal business. But now I think we have to say, how then do we live with COVID, because it appears to be with us for some time. How then do we learn to live with COVID? So there will be need for us to engage more. Both at the relationship level, at the branch manager level, and at the bank level, so that we can continuously support each other and work together in this journey. And I think with that, with those few remarks, I would want to just pass it on to Sarah, who will introduce the ISC team and then she'll take over from there. Then we'll have Anthony, head of SME Cooperative Bank, presenting. So over to you, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Moses, for that introduction. And it's always a pleasure for me to come on board just to partner with the Cooperative Bank. As Moses has said, this is an initiative. This webinar series are an initiative between a partnership between IFC, which is the International Finance Corporation, and Cooperative Bank. So we have done quite a number of sessions. And what we have found to be very useful is to have a sector-specific kind of discussions, because here we can talk in our own language according to what is relevant and the hardships that we have, the struggles and so on, so that we can get a solution going forward. So thank you so much. Before I start, I think it is very right and proper for me to recognize some of our colleagues from IFC. I want to recognize Millicent. Let me start off by saying Stella Masinde. She's our team leader. Unfortunately, she's not able to join us today, but she has given us her blessings to proceed. I also want to recognize Millicent, Millicent Karibu Sana, and of course, Haggai. Haggai, you know very well because he's the host and the convener of this particular meeting. So today we are here to tackle a very interesting conversation about accessing finances, especially for us who are involved in hardware businesses during COVID-19. So as we go through these discussions, I know that some of you are wholesalers, some of you are retailers. I know that there may be slight differences in the way we do business, but I'm sure that what we're going to talk about is going to be relevant and applicable to you. I don't want to take very long, because I want to leave most of the time for Cooperative Bank team. I know that they have developed some solutions, you know, some ways to also help you navigate through COVID-19. So I'd like to leave the bulk of the time for them to share. However, I will give you an overview of some tips that I believe are going to help you. As Moses has said, COVID came on us. We didn't expect it to take this long, but it's here with us, and it's like we just have to adjust the way we do business so that we can survive and thrive going forward. So thank you so much for coming on board. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Sarah Mbinchi. I am an IFC certified instructional designer. What that simply means is that I develop content, customize it, localize it so that we can, you know, to SMEs. Actually, this content is targeted to SMEs, and I'm quite sure that you would be able to understand a few of the things that we're talking about. I'm also a certified trainer with IFC and ILO business mentor. And more importantly, I'm an SME. I just want to say that I'm an SME just like you for the last 20 years. So hizo panda shuka zote za biashara tunazielewa. And so you're in safe hands. This is not theoretical. This is practical. This is real and real time. Let's just start by looking at some of the challenges, some of the pain points, so to speak, that you experience as you run your businesses, which are quite unique to you. In the last 6 months, as we have been trying to grapple with COVID-19, trying to understand what is this, what are the implications. Yes, we've been trying to stay safe, to follow you know, the directives that we've been given. But at the end of the day, we all know that our businesses have been affected in one way or another, especially in the early days of the COVID-19, April, May, June. But I believe that now we are facing the situation, and we are moving forward, and we are making adjustments in our business. I know we can all testify to experiencing you know, depressed demand. You know, people are being unsure. You know, should we proceed with those construction projects? Should we? Because I think that's where we get our income from when we buy those products from our shops. Of course, we were also affected by disruptions in supplies, because We saw some things from China, Uganda, Tanzania, and so on. That also has an effect on price fluctuations. You know, when the borders are closed on one side, it means that we have to, you know, check where we can best, maybe look at alternative suppliers. And of course, alternative suppliers would never be able to match the price that we get from source. So we have experienced also price fluctuations in our business, sometimes because of inability to get supplies on time, inability to meet customer needs because we don't have sufficient products and so on. Forex fluctuations, of course, competition because we don't exist in a vacuum alone. Cash flow gaps and challenges. Money is not coming in as fast as we expected it to. However, we still have a business to run. We still have loans to pay. We still have staff to pay. We still have, rent and so on. So cash flow gaps and challenges. Some of us had taken loans before COVID-19 and just trying to juggle all those balls, you know, access to credit. How do I manage my loans? And I think Cooperative Bank will be telling us more about the kind of help that they've been giving you to restructure your arrangements with them. And more importantly, on an ongoing basis, we always need to access finances, and that's what this topic is all about. I just want to give you some tips which can help you to navigate as we go along, as Moses said, to readjust our businesses going forward. And just 4 tips I want to share with you. One is about meeting the needs of your customers. The other one will talk about shifting perspective. Now that things have changed in the business environment, how then can we position our businesses to change with those changing needs? And then we'll talk a little about pricing and understanding the lender. So let's start off by the need for you as a business person to balance the needs of your stakeholders. Now, here is your business. Whatever the name of your business, it doesn't matter whether you're in Yala, you're in Siaya, whether you're in Ruiru, whether you're in Nairobi, it doesn't matter. That's you there in the middle. And of course, your business interacts with one person or another. Some of these people are inside the organization, some of them are outside of the organization. And all these stakeholder groups have different needs. And we need to remind ourselves, what are the needs of those different stakeholders, the lenders, the investors? Will I be able to recover the money and the investments that I've put into the business? What about the management? I'm finding it a challenge to run the business. I need to reorganize myself as a business owner. And I usually call you employee number 001 because you're the one who makes the decisions as far as your business is concerned. And there are certain critical decisions that management needs to make, especially during this time, if we are going to adjust, if we are going to survive and even thrive going forward. What about employees? Yes, there are safety requirements, keeping safe, social distancing, wearing of masks and so on. But these employees, they're not as busy as they were. And their income is not flowing as it was before COVID-19. And there are concerns about payments. What about customers? These customers, do you know your customers well? Remember that your business has been positioned in the marketplace to meet the need of a customer. There is a customer out there who has a need, and your business is all about meeting the need of that customer. So are you aware that your customers' needs may have changed during COVID-19? Those are questions that demand your answers. What about your suppliers? Perhaps they have concerns. Will you continue to buy from us? What about the difficulties in doing business? Will we be paid? And things like that. Of course, we operate in an environment where we are regulated, there's a local community, and so on. So it's really important for you to make the necessary adjustments in your business. How? By looking at the compass of who your different stakeholders are, what are their needs and concerns, and then positioning your business to be able to answer those questions, which I have already mentioned. Now, let's look specifically more about customer needs, because that's where our money comes from. Now, if we're saying that as hardware business, retailers and wholesalers, we exist to meet the need of the customer out there, and we have said that you're not the only one who is operating in this space. There are many others. They are the forces of competition. You need to ask yourself, what value proposition am I giving to my customers? And in order for you to answer that question of value proposition, you need to ask yourself, what does the customer want? Customers are very sensitive right now as far as prices are concerned. So you need to give that value proposition that you're able to offer prices that are friendly to them, but of course commensurate to the quality that they are looking for. So the price and quality are also interconnected. When we look at the range of products that you have, of course, it all depends on what they're driven by, what the customer wants and what is friendly to them and how much they can afford. What about functionality? What about convenience? Do you know perhaps that, do you know who your customers are? I was talking to somebody and the person was telling me, we are based in Yala, but 70% of our business comes from Nairobians or people who are based in Mombasa. So when you know that you have that kind of customer in mind, you need to make it convenient for them to do business for you, with you. Reliability is very, very critical. When there's a construction going on, and why we choose you as our supplier for the materials, how reliable are you? Or will we enter into an arrangement and then you tell us, oh, now we don't have this, now we don't have this? Reliability is a very critical value proposition. Efficiency, relationships is very important, and appreciation of that customer. And especially now during COVID-19. Yesterday I went somewhere and I bought some supplies, and I said I would like to run my card, so that I can pay for the service. And what really impressed me, actually warmed my heart, is that this person who was running the card actually took just a few seconds to notice what my name was. And they said, thank you very much, Sarah, for your business. We appreciate. Can you imagine? When was the last time you called your customers by their names? Remember, this is a very difficult time for people across the board, and for customers to remove money from their pockets and give it to you. You need to find ways of appreciating them, because that's where the money comes from. What about customer service? Are you going to deliver those products to the site that I need? Do you have special offers? When was the last time you had a special offer? These are some of the things which we call magnets that attract customers to you. So you really need to think about that. Think about your different stakeholder groupings. Think about what they want. Position your organization or your business to be able to respond to those needs. The second tip I want to share with you is about the need for you to adjust your perspective. COVID has, thrown everything up into the, into the air. And I think we all agree that business is not the way it was. It is actually business unusual. And unfortunately, nobody can predict how long this situation is going to go on, with us. And that calls for adjustments from your point of view. If you look at that picture there, it asks, what do you see? Some people say, I see a glass. Some of them say, maybe it looks like water, half empty, half full, and so on. Your perspective as a business person, as we go through COVID-19, is very, very critical. And I just want to point you to the words of somebody here, Bruce Lee, who says that the stiffest tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo or the willow survives. How? By bending with the wind. And I know that one of the main reasons why you came on board here is to hear how Cooperative Bank is going to bend with the wind so that they can give you solutions as a business owner as a business owner. But you know what? The same applies also your customers. You need to look at the changes that are taking place in the environment and position your organization to bend in the direction of the wind. And what got you where you are today? I always have the greatest respect for business people. And out of my 20 years in business, 15 of them have been dedicated to working with SMEs. And I have the greatest respect for you. Where you have reached today is not a joke. It's not, you're not playing around. But what I'm saying is that what got you to where you are today, the strategies, some of the strategies, and the manner in which you were doing business before COVID may not necessarily get you into the future. So this calls for some readjustments, a change, a shift in your perspective so that you can survive and move forward. The third tip I want to share about with you is about pricing. Why am I talking about pricing? Because that's where the money comes from. That's what the customer gives you in exchange. The customer will give you money in exchange for your products. So that means that as we go through COVID, remember you're not operating alone, we need to rethink our pricing strategy. And I know that business is picking up. In the last 2-3 months or so, business is beginning to pick up. But I just want to caution you to be very careful about the way you price. Don't overprice, because if you overprice, you'll end up participating in something that we call price gouging, and you will put off customers from buying from you. But also look at how you can adjust the prices. Why? Because customers are very sensitive now during COVID. So is there a way that you can accelerate your sales by just making a few adjustments or offers? These are some of the things that you need to think about. When you're pricing, remember this pricing model, which I call the 5-facet pricing model. And here you'll be asking yourself some questions. Of course, the way you price is in a manner that you will be able to cover your costs. As business people, we are here because we want to make something also, which is called profit. So of course you need to consider your costs. That's why when we say borders have been closed, there are delays in us getting our supplies from our sources out there, and we have to get another one, an alternative one, and the price shoots up. We are concerned about that, because when you try to pass on that to the customer in terms of price, you try to pass on those costs and still make something, it may be an issue. So you need to look at your costing, your pricing model to ensure that you cover your cost and you also make something on top. And perhaps before COVID, we were able to make a bigger share, in profit. So you just need to look at what's going on in terms of the costs and then reprice accordingly. Understand who that customer is. Who is your customer? I was talking to somebody who was saying, my customers are schools and institutions, but now we all know that schools are closed. That's again the importance of you readjusting your pricing model so that you look again in the business environment and see who else can I call my customer? Where is that customer based, and so on. So you'll price differently according to who that customer is. What are the product features? We're talking about our range of products there, and why do we price different for different products? It's all about the product features. Of course, I've also said, don't forget, you don't operate in a vacuum. There are forces of competition. Customers are more sensitive right now than ever before, and they're constantly looking out for better prices. So make sure that you get your pricing right so that you don't push away your customers to your competitor. And then, of course, at the end of the day, we also look at your branding. Your business must continue to exist where? In the mind of the customer. So how are you branding your business now during the time of COVID? That's critical, because they will not forget you. Customers will not forget. In fact, not only customers, but all stakeholders, depending on how you treat them during this time. The last tip I want to share with you is the need to understand, just to go into the shoes of the lender and try to think about it from their end. We tend to be selfish as business people because it's all about me. It's all about my needs. Why isn't Cooperative Bank being as responsive as I would like them to be? Now, what I would like to do is to put you in the shoes of a financier, of a lender. What are some of the things that they're looking for? And I know all this is what we call the 5 C's of lending. And they haven't really changed. We'll look at your character. What sort of a person are you? What about the collateral, capacity to pay, conditions, capital, and so on? So, it's important. Of course, credit reference bureaus were relaxed, but they're not going away. So you need to remember, to be of a person, the kind of person who, when you're encountering difficulties, reach out to your relationship manager, talk to them, make certain readjustments, just to make sure that you keep the conversation going. Collateral, somebody was asking me, what? Cooperative Bank already has my title. They already have my security. And I have a line of credit, but why is it that now I'm not getting money as fast as I would like to? What's happening? But you see, what's happening is that you must appreciate that Cooperative Bank is not in the business of, they're not in real estate. They're not in the business of selling properties and so on. And really, they wouldn't want to sell your property. They want to give you that assistance, but things have changed in the marketplace as a result of COVID-19. So it's not about, again, when we look at the values of securities, when we look at what's happening in the real estate market, perhaps that property of yours of 10 million, maybe the market price is 14, but in case of anything, they may not be able to fetch the amount, the reserve price, and so on. There's so many dynamics that go into this. So when you're asked, let's relook at this issue of collateral, there are many aspects to it. So please, let's not be suspicious as we come on the table. Let's also try to understand from the bank's perspective. Capacity to pay. We're saying that businesses have been affected. And now that we're operating on a different plane, what is your capacity to repay? So maybe if you're saying that your biggest customer was schools and now schools are closed, it means that, of course, business has gone down for you. I was talking to somebody who was telling me, I wouldn't mind if Cooperative Bank can give me 2 million. You see, it's not about you not minding. It's about you having that need. And we have a discussion on the table and look at your business. And that's why I was telling you it's important to readjust your business model. Maybe look for other customers so that there's money flowing into the business to run itself and also to repay the loans. And remember that, before COVID, we also had loans. So there's also the degree of financial leverage or the leverage that you have in your business. Then, of course, I think the biggest condition here is COVID. It has affected so many things, in the marketplace, and also capital. Yes, you need assistance, but what are you willing to invest? And I think the challenge here comes where we as business people, because of COVID, because of the challenges that COVID is presenting, we are seeing opportunities in the marketplace and we are getting ideas, and we want perhaps the bank to help us to fund these ideas. But because it is a new thing, it's something that needs discussion. So don't be too quick to say Cooperative Bank is not helping me. I want to stop my conversation here, and I want to hand over to back to Moses, and Moses will tell us who will be taking us through the next steps. I think we're all here with a big ear to hear what's in it for me. Moses, back to you.
Thank you, Sarah, for those very good insights. I think we'll go straight on to Anthony Wangeshi, head of SME Cooperative Bank, who will be talking to us about the support that the bank is offering to our customers. Anthony, over to you.
Thank you so much, Moses and Sarah, for that insightful discussion and opening remarks. I'll go straight to what are we doing as a bank to ensure that we support the MSME. And I want to start with the whole bank to say, and before I even start, is to also thank customers who have joined us. We don't take it for granted that you can join us and share insights and also learn from us. So I just want to share briefly on what the bank has done, and the bank is fully committed in supporting the MSMEs. And one of the things then that we have been able to do is we have provided additional funding, which I've been talking more about. We have also been very, very, very committed in giving restructures and holidays, and this is just to ensure that again, we manage the distress that is there in the market, and we have been on the forefront to ensure that at least now we do what we call distress management of customers. Number three, we have also done a lot to ensure that we have relationship management. And I know in the opening remarks, Moses talked about the care calls. And this is just to ensure that we reach out to you so that we're able to understand you from our 150 branches. And the business bankers, or what we call the relationship managers, are able to talk to us and the branch managers. And I'll be also touching on this area as I come to my end of the presentation. Again, we also have our own MSME portal. Just we post information, the COVID, the guidelines, the restrictions, all you need to know about the bank and also the pandemic. We have some very good insights in our website and in our social media platforms. We also carry out webinars like this one, a session where we come together to hear, to share what we have to learn from our customers who are on the ground, and also help us to tailor-make solutions that speaks directly to what we are doing in our businesses. Again, on one of the key main the decision of the bank, the corporate social responsibility. As a bank, we have also donated about 100 million just to the government kitty to help the government also and the Ministry of Health to just help and ensure that we also support our country as large. And again, we have facilitated the purchase of ventilators, working with several counties where we are well represented to ensure that at least we also concerned about the entire family rather than even the MSME. So those are some of the things that the bank has done to ensure that at least we support and also form part of join the government and the Ministry of Health to ensure that at least then we're able to combat this pandemic altogether. Now, going to my next slide now, Hagai, thank you. I just want to appreciate that as customers, we're at different stages of our businesses, we are at different capacity levels, and as a bank, then we have said we will speak directly to those who are in retailer or those who have retail hardware. There are those of us, again, who are in the wholesale aspect, those who are doing it big. And for us then to be able to speak each and every segment, then we have, what we have done is that we have clustered our customers into segments that we call, if you are doing sales, and our segmentation, our classification is based on the volume of the sales that you make as a business. And if you are making an average of 800,000 sales and below in a month, that translates to about 10 million annual sales in a year, then we classify you as a micro enterprise. And you know, definition we are saying support to MSME. So MSME is start with micro, small, and medium. For micro, then we are saying if you're doing below 10 million or rather 800,000 sales in a month, then we give you, classify you at a micro. If you're doing between 10 million to 100, that's between slightly above 800,000 to about 8 million a month in terms of sales, then we fall under small enterprise. And for medium, then we say if you're doing slightly above 8 million sales in a month to about 41 or 40 million a month, then we classify you as a medium. And that classification then speaks to what we call the critical concern. I think Sarah has captured it very well in her presentation. One of the things that will give us a headache when you're operating hardware businesses would be the stocking levels. Do I have enough stock? Do I have enough working capital? Do I have enough raw materials? Do I have, if I want to do expansion, am I able to strengthen my muscle to ensure that I expand my business? And then also, how is my relationship with the suppliers? And then to see, depending on where then you are placed in, whether micro, small, and medium, we have moved away from what we call single account, where you can operate a current, just a single account. And The reason why we have done this, the classification is that we have come up with what we call a bundled solution or a bouquet to say, if you are in the micro enterprise segment, then we give you a package that is called a bronze package. And this bronze package is an account, is a current account that has a lot of, or an array of incentives once you operate a bronze account. And again, if you are in small enterprise, we give you a package that speaks to you, that is a silver package. And for those who are then in the medium segment, those who are doing between 8 million and above and about 40 million, then we give them a package that is called a gold package. And this, as I said, comes with an array of incentives. And we also appreciate that the businesses are growing. So these packages are also graduated. They also grow. The more you grow, the more you get more incentive, and the more you come to enjoy. And to say, it's a current account that has a bouquet of benefits. Just to mention a few, and I know once I mentioned about the 3 or 4, as we now get to engage with our branch managers, with our business bankers at the branch or the relationship managers, then they'll be able to explain more. One of the things that you will get to enjoy is there are new unsecured loans that if you're in the bronze, just a bit, in a bronze, we are able to get a limit of up to 600 million, a silver package unsecured limit of about 6 million, up to a maximum of 6 million. And again, on the gold package, one of the best, we say we are able to get about up to a maximum of 10 million unsecured. And again, as it comes with a current account, a checkbook, a name collection, a name cop cash, a cop online, a merchant, L&M, all of them have. And I'll be expounding more in my next slide. And again, we are also cognizant that we as the directors, we as the proprietors of the hardware businesses, then we have also taken into account the insurance aspect to just cover you on death and permanent disability. So we have given a limit. If you are in a bronze, 100,000, in silver, 500,000, gold package up to 1 million. And this is just to take into account the welfare of the proprietor or the directors. And this is just, those are just some of the few benefits that you get to enjoy. And as we engage also, as Sarah has said, the issue of relationship management, as we engage our branch managers, our relationship managers, then you also come to realize that there are other benefits. But for these, let me stop at that. Maybe I'll expound more as I go to my next slide. Hagai, you can take me to the next slide. Yes, and my next slide briefly talks about just slide before. Okay. Yeah. These support areas, and I think this is for me, this is the main one for us in the hardware businesses. One of the things that we say is if we are not doing a restructure, then we will provide additional funding. And the additional funding comes in 2 or 3 aspects. Number one is on boost our stock, replenish, to ensure that the product lines that we are dealing with then we are able to replenish, and also the product lines that we are dealing with. So for one, we have very exciting working capital solutions that range into 3, can be either short-term, medium working capital, or even what we call an investment working capital, and investment capital rather. And in short term, we have what we call the emergency loans that are available on phone. And as a business customer, you're able to up to about 1 million on phone. And these are just emergency funds that at least facilitates you in case you have an emergency, you need to honor an obligation, a check. We also have overdraft, and for overdraft, I want to mention that we also have unsecured overdraft that go up to 3 months, others up to 6 months, purely unsecured. And we have also unsecured. And again, we also have very nice solutions on what to call local purchase orders, the LPOs, and also an invoice discounting, where we are saying if you have that contract, that you have an LPO that you need to deliver a certain contract, then you're able to approach us and you're able to provide that support, provide that financing support for you to be able to undertake that contract. Again, on the other side, say if you have undertaken a contract and the payment has delayed, you're able to bring in an invoice and you're able to pay you so that you're able to continue with your normal operations. When you come to other medium working capital, we have loans that go up to 36 months. We have a very exciting and advanced product called supply chain financing. And as I said, one of the critical concerns of a hardware owner is how is my relationship with my supplier. We are saying we are able to either jump in as you negotiate with your supplier, as you negotiate with your suppliers, then we also able to negotiate with you and say, instead of now we're going and getting goods coming with them, then you start having the stress of selling and again netting off what you have been able to secure from the supplier. We're able to step in and give you that additional funding that you need so that you're able to pay upfront or in advance and enjoy the cash discounts for you to increase on your margin. Again, the supply chain caters for the supplier side and also the demand side, so that as you source the good from the suppliers, then you're also able to balance and say you're able to meet the needs of the customer, the demand side. When you come to other trade solutions, we have bid bonds, that the contracts come up through the counties, as the government directive directs that women, youth, or even with ability get access to these contracts. We're able to give you those bid boards within hours, performance boards, guarantees, anything that will help you advance in your contract or any job out there. So these are some of the things that we have in medium working capital. Again, we have what we call investment capital. We want to do an asset finance, and I know the head of asset finance will be speaking after me. We'll also expound what have we done. Again, on mortgage, these are investments, and we come in to say, if you want to do that construction, if you want to purchase that building, you want to whether commercial or residential, we come in and mortgage. Those speaks to our financing needs, and we believe from the critical concerns that we have as directors of hardware businesses, that we believe that will be able to sort you out. Again, when it comes now to part B, this is apart from the financing need. Your financing needs will also be largely dependent on what we're calling a transactional and payment solution. One of the things that I want to mention here, for us to be able to understand you, and I know Sarah has talked about that, we need to understand you through the transactions that you're doing, either with us or with any institution. Then we give you some of the instruments that will help you ensure that at least whatever you are transacting, we are able to see and also be able to assist you. And these transactional and payment solutions are part of what I said in my area slide that comes as a bouquet. One of the things that, again, this goes in line with what we are saying as the Ministry of Health and also the HWO guidelines is to say, as you maintain the social distancing, we also need to ensure that the use of physical cash, we minimize on the use of the physical cash. And that then calls for us to ensure that then we are trading or you're doing our transaction on online platforms. And these 5 or so instruments will help you. One is what we call a COP Online. It's a platform. As you open a package account, you're given free, and this helps you in the ease of account transaction. You're able to do transfer, you're able to pay utilities, and this comes in very handy. And as I say, it forms part of the bouquet that we give either as bronze, silver, or gold. An M-Corp cash is also another, I call this the magic for you to access the emergency loans that we have. This is simply linking your account to your phone so that you're able, you don't need to go to the branch to make an inquiry of balance or to do transfer. Once the link is, you're able to do those transfers, those bills, and you're also able to qualify for e-credit, which goes up to 1 million. Again, we have a name collection that this assists you to collect deposit and also do payments without possibly doing a lot of physical handling of cash. We have merchants, those customers who are coming with premises and they need to pay using a Visa card. That we have been able to facilitate, and that as you open the account, then we're able to give you a merchant machine. The Lipa na M-Pesa, this era of M-Pesa, then used to give you facilitate you so that as you do the M-Pesa transaction, then they terminate with us and you're able to facilitate the online transactions. Again, a PesaLink, I know this is an initiative of Kenya Bankers Association and all of us in the banking industry. Provide this PesaLink for ease of transfers, transfer of money or RTGSs to various institutions. The reason why I've mentioned on this is because for us to be able to understand you well, and as I talk on the other point, is to say we can only understand you, we can only understand which segment you are in, you can only understand your business model if you are using some of this collection and payment solution. That speaks to number 3, the key support area for us. One of the things that for us as MSME is to say, you're looking for a partner who is very flexible. You're also looking for a bank that has timely support, that when you're able to get that support the time you need. I think one of the interactions that I have with many MSMEs is that if a customer, if you're coming to the bank to apply for a facility, there is today. So for us to be able to meet up this, then we need to be very flexible, and that is what we are providing, and also timely support that you are even able to get $1 million on phone. And for us then to be able to understand how you're running your business, your inflows, your outflows, then I encourage you as to use the transactional and payment solution that I've just mentioned above. And the beauty is they come in as a bouquet as you open our silver, gold, or bronze packages. Moving to the next one. Haggai. And just before we take the questions, then one of the things that I have noticed, the investment space, we have asset finance and mortgage, and I would want to usher in James Yongo, the head of asset finance, to just take us through what we do on the asset finance space. Then we can possibly take up the feedback and the questions. So Yongo, you can pick it from here.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Anthony, Moses, IFC team, and also customers who are participating. We appreciate your time and participation. I'll take you through on asset finance because it's one of the capital investments, and basically is to help you move these particular products from the factory to the end user. And some of the products you are selling, like let's say cement, steel, paints, you need to move them from either the factory to your shop or from your shop to the customer. So asset finance comes in to ensure that we support you on mobility. And there are several advantages. When you opt for asset finance, there is no collateral. And I think Sarah mentioned about one of the challenges SME they face is lack of collateral. So when it comes to asset finance, the asset we are financing is a collateral. So there's no need of additional collateral. Then the cash flow management, you're able to reserve working capital because you only pay a small deposit, and the difference we are able to finance you over a longer period of time. And with the asset also generating the income, it means that the asset is also self-paying. So the other advantage is a very simple documentation process and application. So, and we'll take you through on the requirements. So within a 48 hours, you're able to review and be able to respond. This particular product, asset finance, is open to both corp customers and non-corp customers. So which means if you're not with us, we'll still be able to finance you. And once you come on board, we are able to offer all the other products that Anthony was explaining. And also once, besides the vehicle, we also finance the insurance. So there is an automatic qualification of the insurance. So in terms of just to make it better, what we have done is we have partnered with dealers to enhance value proposition. So I'll take you through on some of the schemes that we have. Currently, we have a scheme with Isuzu East Africa, formerly known as General Motors. And some models they sell there is what we have partnered to offer. Like in terms of pickups, we have single cab and double cab. In terms of light trucks, we have NQR, and they are very popular in terms of hardware, and FRL and FSR. And also we have the tippers. Those are some of the vehicles that we have come together with the Isuzu to offer in terms of value proposition. So under the scheme, we're able to finance up to 95% of the vehicle, which means you only pay a 5% down payment. We are offering an few 60 days. Normally we give 30 days, but under this particular scheme, we're able to enjoy up to 60 days holiday. With a borrowed working capital, so we finance the vehicle and we're also able to finance the working capital up to 500,000. This helps you to reserve a much needed working capital for your business. Then the extended repayment period up to 60 months, which means the installment, you are going to pay this vehicle in easy, manageable installments, and that means it will not affect your working capital. We also looked at the appraisal fee is very minimal at 1%. Outside the scheme, or if you look at the competition, they are charging up to 3%. But under this particular scheme, you are able to enjoy up to 1%. And again, we have negotiated with CIC a very competitive insurance packages at a very competitive rate. And we have several benefits under insurance, including self-repair, personal accident, excess protector, all in one. Just you can have the peace of mind once you acquire this asset through us. So similar scheme and similar benefit we have extended to other dealers. This is Simbacolt. Again, you will enjoy the same features, and there we have 3 categories of vehicles that we are financing under the scheme, which is the L200 pickups. We have the light trucks. This is FI, and we have FG. These are the new generation trucks that we are financing. So you can either go to Isuzu, or if you will also prefer the Mitsubishi, we also have something with Simbacolt. Again, also prefer Toyota. We have similar benefits and similar features. So there you can enjoy a single cab, Toyota single cab, and also a Toyota Hina. under the similar packages. So moving on, I don't know who is moving the slide. We can have a look at the other data. So we have Tata again. Tata here you have Tata pickups and also the light trucks and the tippers. Here we have a package where we are financing up to 90%. Again, there is extended repayment holiday for the pickups up to 60 days, and also for the tipper up to 60 months and 48 months for the light trucks and pickups. Again, subsidized appraisal fee and also comprehensive insurance. So if you also prefer Nissan, we have something with them, especially on Nissan single cab and double cab, and also the famous body. So we have engaged all these dealers to be able to offer a very comprehensive solution when it comes to asset finance. And if you look, these are some of the popular models that if you're operating a hardware, you will need to be able to source this particular material, the products that you are from factories, and also once from the shop, and you have to deliver so that you can counter the competition. So we have made it a very competitive package. So if you go to these dealers, you should be able to also enjoy other features, like in terms of competitive prices. They're also offering the warranty and service and maintenance, and also even after sales support. So you will not have the issues on supporting the vehicle, just to ensure that there are no downtimes and you are able to actually service the loan in good time. So I think asset finance comes in to support your business, especially around this time. There is a lot of competition, in terms of moving products from factory and to the customer. So we have these particular competitive packages to ensure that we are supporting your business even during this COVID. So that is it for me from Asset Finance, and we look forward. You can apply online. So we have automated the application process, so you don't have to go at the comfort of your home, at your shop. You can actually do an online application, and it's a very seamless. Within 48 hours, we are able to review and respond. Anthony, back to you.
Thank you, Joseph, for that again insightful discussion. I think just before we go to the other session of the questions, what is our call to action, or maybe our passionate appeal to the customers out there? One is visit, engage relationship manager, ensure now we move out from the single current account to a package account. And again, as I said this, then this helps you to enjoy the array of products and incentives that we have. Number two, we also say leverage on our payment and transaction solutions. I talked of the instruments that are there as you open up a bouquet that you help you ensure that the transactions, whether payment or you're collecting deposit or receiving payment, then you're able to ensure that these transactions happens online and are able to reflect in your bank account. And those platforms are there to even assist you in reconciling your account, give you reports, give you e-statements. We provide free of charge. Number three, we also saying identify, look at your business, and based on what we have shared with Joseph and IFC, raise your needs and ensure that at least discuss this with your relationship manager, your branch manager. This will be very, very helpful, and we are willing to partner and support you. Number four is keep your branch manager and relationship manager updated on the emerging trend and issues in your business. As I say, one of the things, and you have noticed that I've mentioned a lot on the branch manager and also the relationship manager. This is the person who knows your business, interacts with you daily. One of the things that we have done is we have even decentralized our what we call our approval authority to the branches. That if you have a restructure need and your financing is below 10 million, the branch manager is able to make a decision at the branch without even consulting us. If you are our customer, you have been trading with us, you need additional funding, then and you're looking for anything up to 2 million, the branch manager is able to sit with you, discuss with you, and approve it at the branch level, again, without necessarily involving us. So your branch manager, your relationship person at the branch is very key, and let him open up your doors to him or her so that he is able to understand your business very well and come in when you have a need. I think that is it for us and Joseph, and I want to take this back again to Moses.
Thank you, Anthony, Joseph too. I think very good insights coming for our customers. And just before you open up the session to maybe answering the questions that are there, I know Haggai, maybe you could be picking the questions. It's just to re-emphasize what my team has said in terms of as a bank, you are committed to supporting you, and we can only support where we understand you. And that understanding needs to come from the person that is close to you, that is the business, the relationship manager and the branch manager. So please keep them close to your business. They will understand you. And as we navigate this COVID season, that I think none of us has that experience, would want to keep engaging so that we understand you better in terms of the business and even understand how we support you. We can support you better. I think then with that we'll open up the issue, the questions that have come through the feedback. But just again, I'll emphasize of the support on working capital and investment capital. So despite the hard times that maybe the economy is going through, the health-wise and even financially, as a bank, you are saying you're open to supporting you both on your needs of working capital and investment capital. And I think my team have elaborated on that. In case of any query, further discussions, then perhaps you need to visit your branch manager or the bank or your relationship, but also feel free to engage us directly. So Haggai, any questions, feedback that you may need to take?
Yeah, many thanks, Moses, for the opportunity, and thanks, Anthony and Sarah, for the very insightful presentation. There is a question here, and this goes to either Anthony or you, Moses. James Moore is asking, hi, Anthony, does the bank have an inter-SME customer trading platform, a B2B platform? The other question, as I peruse for others, Nikesh, I think this is more of a comment. He's saying he applied for a facility which has taken a while now. So over to you, Moses and Anthony.
Okay, thank you, I think for Nikasha, I've had a side chat with him in terms of I would want to know where he has applied his branch. I have a side chat with him in the course of the discussion, and I'll be able to address his specific question in terms of the delay on his facility. For James Moria, very good question, and I believe what James Moria is asking for is a marketplace. That's how I have picked it. The B2B for MSME, that is the marketplace. Let me say we do not have a marketplace for now, a B2B for MSMEs, but we're in the process of building one. And I think by the end of the year, we should have a connection where we can bring in the MSMEs, the MSMEs and their customers together as a marketplace. I think that's what I picked from James, the question from James.
Yes, yes, that's right, Moses. His question is around SME marketplace.
Exactly.
Yeah, Anthony Njogu is saying he deals in automotive, rather his business is within the automotive industry, and he's got a field team. So his question is, how do I push the product or sales in this era?
I'm not sure. He deals with.
So he's in automotive, and I think mainly he sells through a field team. So he's asking how to push sales or increase auto sales during the COVID era?
Maybe, Haggai, please allow me to give a response to that. I think that is a challenge that many business people are having at the moment, because it's not business as usual. We always say that anything that you can price, anything that you can sell, and that's what we've been doing, you can be able to take online. And it is very critical for us as business people to explore options of taking our businesses online, because that's where the eyes are. With all these restrictions in movement, the safety and health fears and so on. And of course, that has affected our businesses. I would encourage us also, those in hardware, whether distributors, whether whether wholesalers, whether retailers, or whatever business you have, please consider going online. Why do I say that? Because it will increase your marketplace. You'll be moving from the traditional field teams that you have. You see, the field teams have various limitations in reaching and touching those customers. And also there's a need to market our businesses online. So that would be my advice for that particular question. Thank you, Haggai. Back to you.
Thanks, Sarah. Some more questions, Moses. Admin Asel is asking, I'm requesting, or rather is requesting for relaxation in funding during the COVID period. There's another question coming from Gatuta. What are the terms of working capital for MSMEs, and particularly the Browns package, and what is the duration? John Gitau, how will loan restructuring affect my cash flow record with the bank in case I need an asset in future? Over to you, Moses.
Anthony, you could take those questions.
Moses, thank
Yes,
you, Moses. The first question it was on how do we do relaxation measures, especially during the COVID era, and I think that's feedback well taken. And I just want to make a comment and say, as I had mentioned, one of the things that then we have done at the regulatory is to decentralize the approval limits, or how much a branch manager or a business banker is able to approve. And I want to still stress, let's open up to our branch managers or business bankers. Let them understand your business model, your inflows, your outflows. I think I look forward to a relationship where a customer has issued a check, let's say over 200,000, and the branch manager is able to call the customer and say, I have seen you have issued a check of 200,000. There's a deficit of about 50,000. Let me pay, because I know you put in the deficit before the end of the day. That to me means a lot. Let our teams on the ground understand the nature of the business, how much you're able to, how much is your trading levels. And that's why I said, if you are a repeat customer, for instance, the branch manager is able to approve up to a tune of 2 million. If you are struggling, it's a case of distress management of your facility, and then the branch manager has a limit of up to 10 million. Again, just to cement on that is to say, we are also as a bank fully aware of what is going on out there, and we will give exceptions even from where we sit from our head office. So that is well taken, and thanks for that comment. Number, there was a question on what are the terms of working capital. I think what I said is, this depends with the package you are in. If you are in the bronze, then unsecured up to 600,000. If you are in silver, up to 6 million. If you are in gold, up to 10 million. And again, the loan tenor extend up to 36 months with the current rate about 13%. The other terms is that it can either be secured, tangibly secured. It can also be secured by chattels, that is households, or even secured by a motor vehicle. And we also now have a very exciting product called unsecured. You're able to get unsecured overdraft even for 3 months. We also have unsecured term loans and overdraft that are secured by households or even motor vehicles. And you can also have a hybrid, what we call a mix of both, and a mix again of chattels or a motor vehicle. So one of the things that we have done in the working capital space is ensure flexibility. If you're not able to qualify for unsecured, then you can secure it with chattels, with household, or if you have you don't have a tangible security, then you're able to do a mix of, say, you can even, depending on your trading levels, secure it partially, and then you're able to look at into your bankings, your sales turnovers, and then advance your working capital. I believe Haggai have tackled the 2 questions. Maybe we can get more.
I think, Anthony, there was a question on the restructuring. Does it affect my cash flow? I think when you are restructuring, we are basically easing your cash flows to just ensure that you are able to meet based on the current situation, be it squeezed thinkers, be it reduced sales. I think that's what you are looking for, to say as we restructure, we are restructuring to fit it into your current situation, your current income. And the impact of that into the future, it says what will happen if we are to borrow into the future. We'll have to consider the current income, the way whatever you are making now, what you use in terms of appraising your new facility. And basically that is what helps us now in terms of determining your repayment ability, your current business performance. However, the structure was to come in to just help you navigate through this period and match your current income with the repayment that you're expected to pay for your existing facilities. But that has no negative impact on your future qualification for the facilities.
Thanks, Moses and Anthony. I think those responses covers the 3 questions. There are a lot more coming through. Peter Njoroge from Watos Hardware, he's very happy with this session, with this informative and insightful session. Boniface Ambale is asking, for the new hardwares, it is a challenge for them accessing the market and, competitively sourcing for goods from suppliers at reasonable pricing. So I think that goes to Sarah. Moses, there's a question from Nikesh Shah. So he's asking, or rather his comment is that, during COVID period, it's very hard to access goods or supplies through credit. In many cases, suppliers would want cash basis transactions. So he's asking whether, the bank has packages or is willing to partner either through working cap or term loans to ease the burden. So I think we'll start with Sarah. Sarah, there was a question around new hardware and the ability to access affordable supplies.
Yes, thank you very much, Haggai, for that. And thank you, Peter, for that question. It's about looking at the environment and trying to look for a cheaper price, if I got you right. And this is really critical for new businesses. What I would advise Peter and everybody else struggling with that challenge is that there are no easy answers to that. You just have to continue scouting looking out for better deals, other suppliers, and so on. And that's why it's very important for you, Peter, and for all of us to constantly evaluate ourselves. And I propose a tool that we call the SWOT analysis. That SWOT analysis will always help you to look at your strengths, to evaluate. Unajipima nguvu, unajiangalia as a business. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Peter is saying my weakness is that I'm a new entrant, I'm a new player. what are the opportunities that exist? And the opportunity that exists in the marketplace is a chance to look out, and you never know. In the process of looking out, you may just get, bump into, a better supplier, maybe even in terms of the product or the service. And of course, there are also threats. And maybe somebody is asking, how often should I do this SWOT analysis? And the answer is that, you see, some of these business tools that we have been teaching you over time, it's not just something that you do to check off a box to say done, and you sweep these things, you pack them into your desk drawer or something like that. It's something that you need to do constantly. Why? Because the business environment is so uncertain right now. The claim is so uncertain. And we are saying, Peter, that because you understand that you're not the only one offering these products and services to your customers, there are also others. So it is critical for you to constantly, even on a weekly basis, because as you're doing that honest evaluation of where you are, you may remember some things, certain weaknesses, certain strengths that you hadn't really thought about last week. And more importantly, there could be other new things that competitors are doing. You need to keep your eyes open. You need to be in touch with what's going on, and you need to keep, trying. And in the process of trying, you're likely to get your answers. Back to you, Haggai.
Thanks, Sarah. Okay, over to you, Moses or Anthony.
Maybe to handle that question of the cash basis, the availability of working capital, I think, let me confirm, we have those facilities, just as Anthony presented, to say we have available working capital solutions, including real time on phone. So for our business people out there, if you have a struggle with working capital, the solution is within your phone, also within your account, and also at the reach of your branch manager and the relationship manager. I think that is very key in terms of how then do we support our customers on working capital. And maybe to also add on to the customer who is asking about the cash, the issue of a new entrance into the business. We have a solution with the major distributors, especially, and major manufacturers, especially under the hardware space. And this is what we call supply chain financing. And maybe if you are doing cement, we have a relationship with Bamburi that should help you in terms of you securing the goods, and we pay Bamburi on your behalf. We have several kind of relationships, and I think what that customer needs also to do is to approach their branch and ask for the partnerships that you are having with several other distributors and manufacturers of key hardware items, so that they can be linked on the supply chain financing, and want to capture the supply chain financing aspect of it. I also want to thank is it Peter who was very good comments, feedback in terms of the services, and also a testimony in terms of what Anthony had shared earlier about the use of Lipa na M-Pesa. I think thank you, Peter, for adopting the technology, and you are saying that helps you in terms of now aggregating all your collections, all your sales into the bank account. That helps us in terms of analyzing your turnover. That usage of the M-Pesa transactions into the bank account at the end of the day or regularly, I think helps you now in terms of building your statement for qualification of credit into the future. Thank you, Agai.
Many thanks, Moses. There's a question here, and Moses, I see quite a number of these questions are product related.
Yes.
Boniface is asking, no, not Boniface, Samuel. So Samuel is saying he's interested in supply chain financing, but the challenge is whereby the bank demands suppliers demand my suppliers to have COP account. I think there was a question whether there is LPO financing not LPO, invoice financing for hardwares. Over to you, Moses or Anthony.
Maybe Anthony. I picked it quite clearly. Anthony, you picked it.
So the first question, maybe if I may rephrase, the first question, Garishon is asking whether there is invoice financing to support hardware. I think the other question is around supply chain finance. I don't think that I get it proper, but I think Samuel is trying to say that the bank, in most cases, demands that their suppliers must have a bank account.
Okay, maybe I can pick the two questions. One on the invoice. Yes, the bank has a facility called invoice discounting where you're able to discount the invoice. It's available. I can confirm. So I think that one is in order. For the FPO financing, I think what I'm getting is, and maybe this was possibly a concern that was raised before. I know it was earlier in the year. We had one of these requirements to have suppliers open account with us, but I want to also confirm that what we done is we have removed that from the conditions. What you say is once we get into an agreement with some of these companies, then we do that after post approval. Once we have given you approval, then we talk to you and engage you to ensure now you give us a list of their suppliers and we approach them directly from our branches for us to be able also to support. But the condition that was there that they must open an account with us before we advance any facility has since been removed. That one I can confirm. Over to you, Hagai.
Thanks, Anthony. So I think in the interest of time, and our apologies, I know we've gone slightly above the allocated time. I think Moses, what is coming through clearly, a lot of questions are product related. And now that you've mentioned about supply chain finance, a number of participants are asking, whether the bank could make similar arrangements with Simba Cement, Mabati Rolling, and I'm sure a lot of the participants would want the bank to, get into similar partnerships with a lot of the anchor suppliers or distributors. Moses, over to you. I think that's it from me.
Thank you, Hagai. I thank my customers for that feedback, and I'm sure we'll be getting to more partnerships. We'll be advising on the partnerships that you're having, and also feel free to engage your relationship managers, your branch managers, just as we agreed earlier, because they have a lot of information of which partner, and maybe if there is a partner that is not within our purview, we'll also be able to analyze and pick on that. I think it's a very powerful solution in terms of also helping you as a customer to maintain those discounts, because we sort of de-risking on one part, but the condition is that you also have to be giving us you also have to be banking with us in terms of your daily sales, everything that comes through. You have to, so that, but by the end of the time period, we are able to pay the supplier. But for more information, I think, as I said, let's get in contact with our branch managers, with our relationship managers. They are all the partners that you are working with, and we'll be willing to expand. We are actually working on expanding it with several other partners. I think at this juncture, I would also want to thank all of us for participation, for logging in, and I believe it has been impactful. It has helped in terms of educating. But as we said earlier, it can only get better if you get to your branch. Please get to the branch and get more information. We are also open in terms of engagement. We'll deposit this material in our website. Also, feel free to get information about our products through our websites, through the MSME portal. There's a lot of information there, and even the trainings that you have undergone, the 9 webinars that you have undergone. All that material is deposited there. So thank you so much, Sarah and team. Thank you, Anthony and Joseph, and thank you so much, my customers. God bless you. Over to maybe now we could leave at our own pressure. Thank you so much.